Warning! The following live broadcast may contain loud, obnoxious, shrill, and alarming noises that might be considered disturbing, if not outright uncomfortable to listen to, especially if you are wearing headphones. I share my office space with an African gray parrot and two parakeets, and I have no control over their behavior while I am live streaming, unlike my regular videos, where I have the opportunity to edit them out as best as I can. And even then, a lot of times, that's a failure. But I try to mitigate as best as I can. If you are sensitive to loud, surprising background noises, I recommend either not turning your volume up too loud or watching my edited pre-recorded videos instead. Viewer discretion is advised. Look at that. He's already like looking at me already. He knows I just went live. So oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. You see, he's been quiet all this time. And the second I go live, that's it. He knows it's showtime. He really does. He really does. So hello everybody. Oh, hello HR. Yes, HR. It is a little bossa nova from not sponsored Epidemic Sound from the Epidemic Sound website. That's where I get all my if not copyright free music, at least the music that won't get me dinged on on YouTube. Oh my goodness. So welcome everybody to another edition of the Draw Stream. So I am your host, your ghost host. No, I am not your ghost host. I guess I might as well just get the introductions out of the way, really. So yes, so welcome to another edition of the Daphne Lage Draw Stream, or whatever it is I call this, that I do like every semi Wednesday. It's always on a Wednesday, but it's never consistent. But it's always on a Wednesday. So hello everyone, my name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means?
You really want to know my process?
Absolutely.
Usually starts with a holla and ends with a creamsicle.
And then if there's time in between, Thundercats. Ho!
And yes, and this is the show for processes, that's for sure. Yes, and I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which returns to Kickstarter in 2024, with the reintroduction, I guess, of the next story arc, Tears of the Mother, with not only did I kind of tweak issues 1 through 5 so that we're going to re-release them for everybody who missed it the first couple of times we did Kickstarters for them, but it will also be for the brand new issue 6. So keep an eye out for that. And I am also known for my medieval fantasy drama, EGORAVEN, Heir of the First Unicorn, which also returns to Kickstarter in 2024 with issue 8 of this 15-issue series. I keep wanting to say mini-series, but it's not a mini-series. 15 issues is not a mini-series. This thing is taking me too long to be a mini-series. So yes, issue 8, which is complete. I just have to send it out to a printer to get it proofed out. But yes, it is complete, and it will be coming to Kickstarter early 2024. So also keep an eye out for that. And I am also co-host with Nita Lanning on the Rage Into the Vlogs show every Monday and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern on the Indie Comics Network. And it's like, just so you know too, because of the Rage Into, we also have a coupon code, RAGEN10, for Gemini mailers, for all your comic book fulfillment and storage needs. So even if you're not fulfilling a crowdfunder, you can use the coupon to buy all the bags and boards and comic book storage boxes to organize. I know your really, really messy comic book collection that needs to be kind of like freshened up a bit. So you can use our coupon code RAGEN10 to save 10% on your next order. So in the meantime, you can read both my comics online at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, and Tall Tales Online, TALAS online.com. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics and my artwork here. If you're joining me on YouTube, hello, you can watch the rest of my videos here after the stream is over. But if you're watching me from Facebook, if you're watching me from Twitch, you can check me out on my channel as well at Daphne Lage Art. That's Lage, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you get notified whenever any of my shows and my streams go live. Yes, and yes, so so is that the name of the song? I really didn't pay attention to it, but thank you, HR. He's saying that Antonio Carlos Jobim, Stone Flower is probably the name of the song. Thank you so much. Yes, and I see you, my beautiful eyeball people, watching me next to the giant eyeball on my screen from regions beyond. Like I said, if you are joining me from Facebook, come on over to YouTube, join my sexy people, join HR in the chat, keep him company while everyone is slowly coming in. And if you're watching from Twitch, welcome from Twitch. Yeah, and as you can see, I am no longer streaming to Twitter because Twitter just oh, well, definitely. Oh, I'm sure. I'll definitely check that out because it's like a kind of that was the music I grew up on, so it's like it's always nice to have it in the background. HR is saying I just gave you something to listen to. Thank you so much. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if I know the song the second I heard it. So yeah, I just thought you meant the song that I got from Epidemic. So but thank you for the recommendation. Thank you. So it's like so yes, like I said, I'm no longer streaming to Twitter because it's like, well, I can't see your comments there anyway, so there's no real point to it. And also it's really gotten to the point where I'm probably not posting to Twitter anymore either. It's like after this last campaign, it's like, so right now I'm just using Twitter to kind of like keep, just to be able to watch the accounts that I follow there. I do follow some artists that are still there. They're still holding out. I do have a Blue Sky code. Nita gave me one, but I've yet to activate it. So I don't know if those things expire or not. But I've been mostly lurking on Threads right now, but not enough for me to consider it as something that I don't know, that it's like that I'm really regularly going to like kind of advertise. I don't know. I haven't decided. I mean, it's just kind of strange to like look at all my business cards and stuff and see Twitter right there. It's like, oh, my Twitter handle. And it just seems so useless now. And it's like, oh, I got to change everything. I got to change these. But the thing is, I don't think that I'm completely settled in on Threads yet to replace it. So yeah, it's just, social media is just what it is. I mean, mostly I hang out on Facebook. If you want to see like real, like if you want to see the artwork that I started on the last episode of this live stream, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I was working on a pen and ink piece, and usually what happens is that I rarely finish an image on this show. I rarely finish it on this live stream. I'm not like Visenia, who can go for like 8 hours or 4 hours on a stream. Can't do it. I don't have the stamina for that. So usually I don't finish artwork on a stream. But if you're curious as to what they look like, what it looks like when it is finished, if you follow me on Facebook, I usually post everything there. It's like I've been trying to use the community tab more for art updates when it comes to the stream. But I don't know. It's like I'm not really crazy about how it crops the images, and even though you have to click on it and you can see the whole image, but I do that anyway. The image is in the community tab on my YouTube channel as well, if you want to see it. But like I said, it's like, I guess, like if you really just want like really, really up to date, whatever I'm up to stuff, it's mostly going to be on Facebook that I post. But yeah, so which I guess in the end is why I'm streaming to Facebook as well. So let's see. So what else is going on? So I think that the issues with my printer for the comics is beginning to rectify itself. Finally, it's like, I think like whatever bottleneck that he's been experiencing for the past couple of months, I think it's finally slowly you know, unbottling, because I do have some I do have a trio of sketch covers coming in. I had miscounted. Now, as you can see on the screen right here, I have 3 sketch covers that I'm currently doing to finish off fulfilling the campaign for EGORAVEN issue 7. So if you're one of the people who ordered a sketch cover, it's one of these. So obviously I'm working on it. But what happened was that I had miscounted my initial order, and I had forgotten that with the level that comes with a sketch cover, that it also comes with a blank. So I forgot to order the blanks. So I'll be getting those. I'll be getting those by Friday. So at least I can like finish these and then send these orders out. And also I took a chance and I sent him the files for the Unicorn King's Daughter, or Medieval Unicorn Viking Slut. If as the 2 titles of the books are. So these are the 2 books that they're at my printers right now. This is the last campaign that just finished. Thank you everybody who supported the campaign. All 233 of you. Thank you so much for taking a chance on my book. I mean, it's a little off the wall. It's not the books are not exactly canon. But I hope you enjoy them anyway. It is part of my universe, but just kind of like a little strange offshoot of it. So they're at the printers, and he told me that they are scheduled to be printed next week. So I'm hoping that I'm going to get them back before the Thanksgiving holiday, so I can start shipping them off before, at least in the last week, the last week of November. And then by early December, have everything done, and I'll be able to like end the year with a clean slate. Because he took 7 weeks to get my issue 7 campaign books to me, and yeah, it really threw me off. And in the end, I was really glad that not that I was glad that I had to cancel it. There were other mitigating factors too, because I was supposed to run one more campaign before the end of the year. I was supposed to run the campaign for House of Bob, the first House of Bob, like deluxe sketchbook collection. But I decided to save that for next year. It was just like too tight of a schedule for me to finish putting together the book and to proof it the way I wanted. So I decided, you know what, I'd rather wait and put together a book that looks good than to rush something out for the sake of having one more Kickstarter. It didn't make any sense to me. But considering the delay that one campaign made, I was even more glad that I made that decision. Because it was just like, I really don't like running a campaign when the previous one hasn't been fulfilled yet. So at least this way I could just concentrate on getting the books for the Unicorn King's Daughter campaign, shipping all that out, and not having to worry. So by the time I start the next campaigns for 2024, everybody's got their books. You've had them for a while, and it's like we can kind of, start again, hopefully at a less frantic pace, but I kind of doubt that. But, I was kind of tweaking my schedule for the rest of the month, and it's like, nothing really slows down. So, speaking of campaigns, I just wanted to show off some of the things I started getting in some like the stretch goal items and the extra items for this campaign for Unicorn King's Daughter. And the first thing that I got in was the bookmarks. So everybody who pledged, who physically pledged to the campaign will get this double-sided bookmark. That's why I'm showing two of them. So you get Disaster Son in his human form and his werewolf form on the other side. So I was really this for those of you who recognize this, yes, this is the image I used for the pillow, the body pillow. I do have a body pillow of this. It's only the one, and it's just for me, so nobody asks about body pillows on future campaigns. But at least you get a bookmark of it, so you get to enjoy him this way. The other thing that I got in really, really quickly was the Loki Wolf Son sticker. So this is taken from one of the variant covers on the campaign. And yeah, it's like I already have him on my laptop already because I just had to. And it's like this because this is one of my favorite pieces that I've done of him. One of many, but this was up there. So yeah, so this came in. This is from Sticker App. If anyone's wondering, what was funny was that usually like in the past when I ordered from Sticker App, it would usually take them a couple of weeks to get me my stickers. This took 3 days, which floored me. I was so shocked. Like I placed the order and then like not even an hour later, they were already saying that it was in production. And then it's like 2 days later, I got this in the mail. So I'm really appreciative of that. And yeah, so Sticker App, so if anybody's, wants to know, what sticker company I use. So also I got the bonus print from as well. I got this the other day. So this is the stretch goal print that got unlocked. And yeah, so that so at least that's into. This is the first time I'm doing prints with rounded corners, and I don't know, I kind of like that. It's like I've been watching a lot of these people on YouTube at artist alleys, and it seems like rounded corners seems to be like a trend because I'm seeing business cards with rounded corners. I'm just seeing everything with rounded corners. And it's like, you know what? Let me try that. And it's like, you know what? It's like, I don't know. It's like, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Also, I remember, someone had mentioned that they like rounded corners. I think it was Max DeVille of Machine Gun Mary. Yeah, that's his book. And he had said that he likes doing cards with rounded corners because they remind him of Magic the Gathering cards. And he says also with the rounded corners, you don't get janky corners. It's like, they're less likely to get all ratty if it's just pointed, I guess. So I don't know. I was really happy with that. I have 2 more prints coming in today, later today. So at least that would finish everything else. That I have coming in. And of course, my poor little keychain that didn't quite make it. I was supposed to, the plan was to get this keychain manufactured if we reached 10,000, which we didn't. We didn't reach 10,000, but I do have the prototypes that I made. So a couple of random people in the who pledged physically are going to get my prototypes. So at least that they'll get a home. So yeah, so at least that's another thing out of the way. So like I said, hopefully my printer will get my books to me before Thanksgiving, before the holiday, and then I can just get this campaign out. Get this. Is it? I mean, it's like, yeah, that it's kind of what the rounded corners, right? HR, you're saying that it's a vintage touch, and it's like, Yeah, you know what? I'm not mad about it at all. I mean, it's like, because the bookmarks, when I got these, I mean, I spent a couple of hours rounding the corners because I wanted everything to match. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, I really do think that there is an appeal to it. There is there's just something about, there's very neat, kind of like more professional looking, using rounded corners. So it's probably something I'm going to be still using for a while. I like the way it looks, although I don't have an industrial corner rounder. So so yeah, so doing the corners one by one is kind of like, oh, I gotta exercise my hand a bit after doing it for an hour. So what else? Oh, I officially got rejected from Mocha, which I'm actually relieved. For those of you who don't know, Mocha is a independent artists convention that happens every year in downtown Manhattan. And like I said, it's mostly for like indie artists and whatnot. And it seems, and I guess I wasn't indie enough. Because mostly it's like, if you watch videos of Mocha on YouTube, it's a lot of like really alternative artists. And I guess I'm a little too commercial, not a little too not that for them. So, but that's fine. That's fine. So at least I know that after Baltimore, I had said that it's like, you know what, I'm not going to bother with any conventions. And if Mocha gets back to me, I'm just letting that slide. But they rejected me, so they made it even easier. So now I don't feel, bad at all, or like, oh, I applied for it and I got accepted and this, that, and the other thing. It's like, no, they don't want me either. So that's fine. So I get to stay home and do work instead of struggling, dragging shit through the subways for a convention that I'll mostly be ignored at because I don't wrap my books in twine and shit. It's like, so at least that's out of the way. It's like, yeah, I'm too old for conventions. I'm at a point where it's like I have no patience for it, especially when like, yeah, it's like Kickstarter is less of a hassle for me. And it's like I feel like I get a better oh, hey Michael, hey, hello. Like Kickstarter is just a better return of investment for me in terms of effort and time. So I'd rather just do that. So, so yeah, so no Mocha for next year. So we'll just leave it at that. Also, yeah, it's like, so for those of you who like to watch the replay of the vlogs, the Rage into the vlogs with me and Nita Lanning, we're on Spotify now, so you can find us under the Rage into the Vlogs show. We're now well, there's only one episode up there right now since Nita just got it approved yesterday, but now it's like you can, because of my talent of filling up an hour with no dead air. You can actually just listen to us on Spotify. So we can annoy you everywhere now. So yes, we are on Spotify as a podcast. So yeah, so I thought that was kind of fun. I know she had been talking about that for a while, and she finally took the plunge. And yeah, so we're on Spotify as a podcast. So yeah, so I thought that was a lot of fun. Also, like, what else is going on? I don't know. It's like, what, it's like I have I have a lot of work to do anyway, so maybe it's like I could just let's just start working, and I'm just gonna be blabbing anyway, so it's not like the show is really going to be any different if I don't make it to if I don't talk randomly for the next 5 minutes. So like I said, what I have on the desk here is that these are 3 yes, exactly. Yes, all the gooey tentacles are out there. We're corrupting we're corrupting the indie comics youths with our nonsense and bad math. So So, like I said, these are covers, sketch covers that I'm working on for the people who did, purchase them on my last campaign. So now I just have to color them. And what I was doing before the show, I was making a mess, checking over my Copics so I can do these, because I had to find the ones that always seem to dry out between uses. And in the end, I think that it's not that they're drying out, they just have bad nibs. And I just have to replace them. So I did find a couple of bad Copics that they're, like I said, they weren't completely dried out. It's just that the nibs got all crusty. And it's like, and I just figured, it's like, you know what? Instead of like buying new Copics, which kind of defeats the purpose of them, it says, you know what? Let me try out, replacing the nibs. Like everyone keeps saying, it's like, oh, Copics are great because you don't have to buy new pens. You just have to replace the pieces. And it's like, okay, let's try that. Especially since for some strange reason, like several colors are usually like not available. Well, yeah, Copics are expensive. That doesn't help either. Um, so it's like, yeah, so I bought like a set of replacement nibs. So at least that way it's like because usually it's never just one marker that acts up. So at least, I'll have enough nibs to replace a couple of markers. And it's like, yes, in the end, it is less expensive than having to buy a whole new marker. I mean, it's like, because depending on the color, it could range between like $6 to, I've seen certain colors go for $11 just for one stupid marker. And it's like, Jesus. And then it's like, I watch people go to Japan and, they're buying the sets that are like, here, they're like $500. And over there, it's like $100. So it's like, I know that, we were kind of, me and Jose were kind of discussing going to Japan probably in the next, couple of years. And all I can think about is, how am I going to get an empty suitcase over there? Like, really, it's like, I'm going to have like a regular suitcase, and I'm going to have a smaller suitcase inside. Right. And then it's like, because I just need the smaller suitcase for books and Copics, because really that's, it's like, I really can't imagine buying too much of anything else over there. But yeah, but definitely I'm buying all the Copics when I'm over there. And whatever refills or something, whatever I can get my hands on, because it's definitely significantly less expensive. The trip is crazy expensive, but once you're there, everything is inexpensive, which is weird, but oh, hey, Gothic Lolita. Hello. So yeah, so that was kind of like my plan. But right now, I'm just going to replace the nibs to the Copics that are kind of like janky. So at least, but at least I was able to figure this out before the stream, because I knew that if I just started coloring, like every color that I picked would probably be the janky one, and I would have to sit there refilling it on camera. So I didn't want to do that. So look at that. We're at the 30-minute mark anyway. So you know what? I'm not going to do like a bump. I'm just going to like just going to switch everything over to my desk, and I'm just going to like move the microphone. So it's like, okay, so it's going to be over here. There we go. It's going to be like this. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so let's see. So which one do I feel like? I was really happy with the way these came out. Honestly, it's like, I think I scanned them in, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-ink them in Clip Studio. And I don't know. It's like I think that they might make like really, really pretty stickers or something. And maybe if I get to a certain point with my Kickstarter sales, maybe I can make pins out of these. I don't know. It's just something I was playing around with. I just really liked the way these came out. So I think I don't know. Let's see which you know what? I think I might do this one. I might do this one. So let me take these out of here. Okay. So we're going to work on this one. Let me put this aside. So, okay. So, oh, there we go. Oh, it's like, oh, thank you. It's like he goes, Michael is saying, my goodness, I always have an enjoyable time watching the Wednesday streams and vlogs. Thank you so much. Thank you. I try to at least make this somewhat entertaining. I don't know. But thank you so much. You're so kind. So okay, so let me put on the music right now. As always, tell me if it's a little like it feels like I'm competing with it as opposed to it just being in the background. Today we have what do we have? We have um, 1, 2, 3 instruments. These are the search results for Epic Sound. Like I said, I am not sponsored by them, but like I said, this is where I get the music that keeps me from getting dinged on YouTube. So yeah. So let me just yeah. So if it's a little too loud, just tell me and I'll adjust it. Hold on, let me just adjust the screen here because now I'm at a weird angle. So at least this way, I'll have everything closer, to me. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out, like, I don't know, like if I should put like a second monitor somewhere, but I just can't figure out where. It's like the space here is very tight. And a second monitor would be convenient, but it would be kind of in the way at the same time too. But so I'm just gonna have to, I'm just gonna have to kind of like deal with what I got, So I forgot my water. Let's see. Oh, we'll get that later. So yeah, so let's see. So where am I going to start? Oh, well, actually, what I wanted to do. Hey, Grant, I see you. Hey, Grant. So yeah, so with this one, like another thing that I was doing too. So not only was I pulling out my janky, finding the janky Copics I have to replace, but also it's like I was trying to figure out what to do with these Poscas. Because I have like a whole, it's like I have these Poscas, right? And I never know like how to store them correctly. Like I had to look it up. Like, they say that, okay, they sell the markers upright, but then they tell you have to store it sideways. So I have to kind of like rearrange some things so that I can actually do that. So that, I forgot I had that top part, so I can move some of those up there. Okay, that's good. That's good. So I'm gonna take this gold Posca, which is an acrylic paint and a pen, which is very convenient, by the way. And I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna start filling in some gold highlights here first before I start like really coloring. I haven't used these in a while, so I figured, let me put like let me put some special effects on, on this piece, Yeah, so I don't know. So I don't know what's so like I said, I've just been kind of like going through my schedule for the rest of for the rest of the year, for like the month and a half that we have left, right? Oh my goodness. And yeah, so this just goes to show you how it's like, you always want to make sure, like, I think having a schedule is good to help keep you focused. But at the same time, you want to keep it malleable enough so that if anything trips you up, it doesn't blow your schedule completely. Or you want to be mentally flexible so that even if something blows up your schedule, it's like you're not like kind of like, oh, screw it, my schedule's ruined, so why bother doing anything. So don't do, you don't want to put yourself in a position like that. Also, the reason why I thought that using the Poscas would be good because they're acrylic, I can use them over the printed logo here, and it will kind of like cover it up a bit, so like that. Yeah, so I just think that it just, so not only do you have kind of like it's shiny, but it'll, it's like it'll just kind of like blend in these little parts, better than if I had just used markers, which won't do that at all. The marker will just slide over the toner areas, and at least this will cover it up because it's acrylic paint. So yeah, so what so I was just figuring out my schedule for the next month and a half, and so for this month it's like what I'm trying to do. So for this month, what I have scheduled to finish is the audiobook for Legend of Silk Rose, which now that I'm actually doing it is a lot harder than I anticipated it was going to be, even with all the dry practice runs that I had before. Doing an audiobook is a lot tougher than I expected. It's like so I did an initial session, right? And I found, and because I was like, I hadn't read Legend of the Silk Rose for a while. So while I was reading it, I came across, I guess, like several mistakes in the in the text. And it's like, and I had to and it got to a point where it's like, it's like, you know what? I have to edit this. I have to edit the book, even though it's printed already. But it's like, look, I can't let the next printing have these mistakes in it. So I went back, I did the edits, minor edits, nothing crazy. What I found was that there was a couple of places where I forgot to put in a word, or something like that. Like I said, it's nothing that changes anything dramatically. So I made those changes, redid the file and whatnot. And then I decided that it's like, you know what? It's like, let me, actually, you know what? While I'm doing this, I'm going to do this to all those covers while I'm here, while I have the pen out. Cause I gotta wait for that to dry anyway. So, oh, you know what? I could do that. Let me put this over here. I can do also part of this flower too. So I redid the file. I corrected it, redid the print file, and I decided that I was going to do the recording again. I guess like to make up for the fact that I had these mistakes. So it's just like, oh, I have to do it again. But not only that, when I was doing the reading and the recording, it took a lot longer than I had anticipated as well, because I didn't realize like how much I really had to control my voice the longer I went recording, because I don't know. I guess it's like when I'm getting tired, I start to speed up because it's like, oh, I want to get it over with. And that's not what you want when you're recording audio like that. So, so I made, so there's like a couple of places where it sounds like I'm kind of rushing through the text a little bit too much. So I have to re-record that. And it's like, and in the end I figured it's like, oh, you know what? Let me re-record the whole thing then. So at least kind of like keep that consistency, as I'm getting used to doing it. So so that was kind of interesting. So the audiobook, or at least I want to get the raw audio done by the end of the month. Because I know that if if just the recording is taking me this long, I could almost imagine what the editing is going to be like. So, and I haven't decided, like, there's some audiobooks out there that has music and sound effects, and I don't know if I want to get that deep into it. I'm not sure. I mean, the audiobooks that I've always been familiar with, it's just the authors reading the book. So yeah, so I don't think it's, so I think I can safely skip the embellishments. I can, I think I can safely do that. So another thing kind of related to the audiobook, because I had brought this up on the Monday show, where like several, like, I forgot which issue it was, but I had a couple of people contact me, complimenting me, thanking me for making my PDFs accessible. And the funny thing is, I didn't know what they were talking about because I didn't do anything deliberately. And it turns out that by lettering my comics in Illustrator and converting it to a PDF from there, that their audio readers, because I guess they were visually impaired, and their audio readers were able to read out loud my comic to them. And I thought that was like pretty fascinating. I mean, it was unintentional, but I thanked them for the information, and it was something that I always kept in the back of my head, because it's like, oh, okay, so it's like, what else could I do? It's like, I still make sure, because because the other thing that I did, and that I really like ended up with an appreciation for it, was I redid the I guess the video for EGORAVEN issue 1, except like this time the video comic, except this time I read the dialogue out loud, and I put sound effects and music. I kind of went a little overboard with it, but I had a good time, and I thought it was a pretty good video because of that. So so if anyone's watching and you want to like kind of read the first issue of EGORAVEN without having a book, you want to hear me reading the book to you, head on over to my YouTube channel and find the issue 1 video comic, and I will literally read EGORAVEN to you. And it's like I said, it has music and sound effects, and after I did that video, my mom like told me this, like, oh my god, it was the first time I actually was able to really enjoy your comic, because I was able to hear you read it, and then the pictures are really big on my screen. So because like, everybody needs new eyeglasses. So, but you know what, it's like I don't have the patience to sit, or at least I haven't like really been able to sit down with a physical book for like a while. So I get it. And so it's like, okay, so doing the rest of the series, so one of my goals is to do the rest of the series that same way. I still have to do issue 2. It just takes a lot of time, again, because I'm recording, I'm doing the audio, I have to edit, I'm a one-man band here, so so again, that kind of got me thinking, that it's like, okay, so what else could I do? Right. So when I did the crossover on this last campaign with Krista Crawford with her novel Sky of Thorns, a fantasy romance novel, right? Which was kind of unusual for me because EGORAVEN's a comic, not a novel, right? But, you know, I kind of started really getting sucked in again, you know, back to the idea of doing novels. You know, I mean, like I said, it's like, it's not new to me. I did Legend of the Silk Rose, which is prose. That was the first completed EGORAVEN story I did before I drew panel 1, was that story. So technically EGORAVEN started off as prose. And if you're feeling really adventurous, my only other finished prose novel is a fanfic that you can download on my website right now. So I wrote a fanfic like around like the 2000s, around like 1999, 2000. And I wrote a Secretive Nymph fanfic, and it's on my website. So if you're, I hosted a website for a long while called the Justina Jenner Shrine. If you know, I don't, if you're a gray muzzle, you probably know. And I lost all the files, and you know, and when I found the fanfic again, I decided that I was going to illustrate it and put it back up. So yeah, so if you want to read my foray into fanfic novelizations, you can head on over to my website at egoworks.com, and you can download the PDF with illustrations. A full PDF with the illustrations. You can either read it from the website or you can download the PDF and have fun that way. So, yeah, so it's like I was, you know, kind of really getting into seeing all these novelists, you know, talking to novelists on threads, and then I was looking for a file. And then I came across the beginnings. It was kind of like a snippet of me trying to write a novel version of EGORAVEN issue 1. And I go, you know what? I think I'm going to finish this. So what I did, so for like last week, I spent a couple of days transcribing issue 1 into prose. The idea is that eventually with the entire series, it'll be one full novel that will expand on what's in the comic. So I finished it a couple of days ago. I did a couple of edits on it, and I'm really happy with it. So and here's the thing, I'm going to do an audio book of that as well. I'm going to do an audio version of that. So here's like another way that I found that that people can enjoy my comic without having to be dedicated to the comic, without having to read my comic, right? So now, not only is there's going to be an audio version of the comic, which there is on YouTube, but now there's going to be a prose version of the comic that actually kind of expands on the mythology a bit, of the world a bit in the comic. So you're going to get details in the prose book, in the prose version of the comic, than you would in the comic, because there's a lot of information already in the comic, but there were certain things that I wanted to clarify in the prose book that I was able to. So yeah, so I'm really happy with that, with the progress on that as well. Okay, so let me get all right, so let me get this one. Okay. And so yeah, so I was really happy with that progress. So I'm just giving myself a little bit of time to just get through some work because, like I said, I have the Silk Rose audiobook, the raw audio that I have to get through. Then I have my next Tall Tales book. If you caught the very beginning of the show, I talked about how that's coming back to Kickstarter. Tall Tales is coming back to Kickstarter next year with Tears of the Mother, which is the new story arc. I'm reissuing issues 1 through 5, and and issue 6 will be brand new for that campaign. So I've already started working on that. Issue 6 is done. I just need to letter it. So that shouldn't take me too long. Usually lettering, depending on how fussy I get, can take me about like 4 days. You know, it doesn't really take me that long. So that's the next book. So I have to finish lettering that, and then that'll be done for that. And then it's finishing putting together the House of Bob sketchbook. So for those of you who don't know what House of Bob is my adult furry art sketchbook. It collects this particular book is going to collect 40 themed erotic furry pieces that I did years ago. And I'm just finally collecting them in a book. And what's going to be unique, interesting. I'm not going to say unique. It's going to be what's interesting about this book is that not only is it going to have the pieces in color, it's also going to have the pieces in black and white as well. So it's going to be an 80-page book. Half the book is, like I said, going to be the pieces in color, and then the other half is going to be in black, the same pieces but in black and white. They're going to be corresponding, because I have a lot of fans who enjoy my pen and ink work, but I also have just as many fans who want to see those same pieces in color. So why not do both? So I'm putting together that book. I have to do a new cover for it. The only thing that I haven't decided what I'm going to do. It's like, I don't. Well, no. It's like HR say with all the new technology, you can get AI to translate everything to get you in the global world domination. Well, you see, the problem that I've seen with AI doing translations is that unless you really know the language, the AI isn't quite getting it right either. So I wouldn't. So in the end, it's like if I'm going to have something translated. I wouldn't trust an AI to do it. I would hire an actual translator for whatever language. So it's like, yeah. So I would hire a translator, because it's like, I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust it. At least, someone who can speak the language would be able to know the nuances. Because there was a thing. So, technically, all I need to do is I just need to get my mom to translate my books into both Spanish and Portuguese, and we're good to go. Because I remember when she was hired to do some translation for a documentary, and there was kind of a kerfuffle over the director wanting to kind of retranslate Rumi, the poetry of Rumi. And my mom, what it turned out was that, the director was trying to translate it literally, And my mom was trying to translate it, keeping the spirit of the poem, you know? And it was just kind of like a weird back and forth, because it's like, yeah, a lot of weird things were said, to her over that. Like like one of the particular things, it's like, well, my mom is saying, oh, like, no, you have to translate it like this, because that's the intention, that it's keeping the intention of of the meaning of the poetry. And then the director goes, yeah, but I like my version better. And it's like, oh my God, it's like, no, then that's not a translation. You're doing a rewriting of goddamn Rumi. I mean, it was just very, very strange. And but the thing is, though, it's like, yeah, but yeah, it's like I agreed with my mother that it's like, you need, like, there's certain things that you need to be careful how you translate with, so that you keep the intention of the wording, because to translate it literally would give it a completely different meaning, not the meaning that was intended. So so HR, it's like, yeah, it's like, what I'm thinking of doing for this audiobook / prose thing was like, actually, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet with it. Because I think that, like, right now, the prose for the individual books, they're technically unfinished, because I would want to have illustrations with them. So I wouldn't feel quite right selling them, just yet. But at the same time, it's like, I do want people to access them. So I'm not sure yet if maybe what I'm going to do is I'm just going to offer the prose and the audio kind of like as a set for like a very nominal amount as an add-on on the Kickstarter. Or it's like, okay, like for the next campaign, what I was thinking, right, is that, like with issue 8, if I get it that far, like if I get the prose that far, I kind of doubt it. Like, but let's just use this as an example. That I'm offering issue 8, and when you buy issue 8, you automatically get the audio, the prose and the audio for it. So you get issue 8, and you automatically get the PDF of the book. You'll get the audio version, and you'll get the prose version, and you get the audio version. So it's kind of like you buy one book, but you get like 4. You get like 3 additional ways of enjoying it. So I was just thinking of doing that, because, like I said, my idea is that once I have all 15 issues transcribed, then I release a full novel of it, an illustrated novel for it. So it's like, it's kind of like, okay, it's like, I want to make this, like really, really accessible. And also it's like, yeah, with the translate. Yeah, I think so too, HR. I think so too. Because, like, yeah, like I said, it's like, this is kind of like a work in progress, and I don't feel right, like, charging people, for like bits and pieces. It's like, although that seems to be the trend now, that seems, it's like, just to nickel and dime everybody, and I don't want to do that. You know, especially with something as experimental as this, because as I get closer to finishing the book, you know, the prose could change, you know, things could change. The way I do the audiobooks could change. Um, yeah, maybe by that point, it's like, you know what? Maybe let me get a professional voice actor to do this. You know, Krista, she's getting an audiobook. I have to ask her how much. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's, I mean, not expensive, but it's still, you know, you're still spending, you know, a bit of money to get it done. Where she's getting professional voice actors to do the audio version of Sky of Thorns. And I gotta remember that I have to tell her that I think I forgot to order it, and I want it. I want the audiobook when it comes out. But you know, so yeah, so it's like, you know, so I don't want people paying piecemeal for a book that's going to completely change when I do a final version of it. So and like I said, in the end, the reason why, you know, I'm really doing this is because, you know, in its finality, it's about accessibility, you know, not really about, oh, how do I monetize this? It's just another way for me to monetize it. And that's not what I'm thinking at all. Although, don't get me wrong, writing the prose is really fun. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed, you know, looking at the comic and converting the scenes into prose and then adding all the little extra tidbits, you know, all the extra tidbits, you know, that are like kind of in the gutters, kind of, you know, it's like in between panels, that would have been like too much information in a comic, but in prose is just right. So I had a lot of fun with that. But like in the end, it's like, it's just, I really do see it as just another way for people to have access to my work. You know, it's like either because they're visually impaired and they're using readers or whatnot, or they just don't like comics. You know, that's also another thing too. You know, it's like, if I can offer this in a different way that someone else who, like, say, enjoys novels can enjoy it, then why not? Especially since I do enjoy writing the prose. Um, so okay, so I think we got all the gold bits done here. So yeah, did I get everything here? Yeah, I think so. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna let, okay, so these I'm gonna put aside, and we're gonna go back to this one. Okay. Put this over here. Oh, by the way, it's like this is a hate crime. This is a hate crime. The fact that it's just hitting 5 o'clock and it's goddamn dark outside. You know, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, I mean, like today, I was just so out of it. Like I've been having such a hard time getting over the changeover from, you know, from Sunday. And yeah, I am just having, I'm just having, you know, like I literally like had to take a nap at 10 a.m. Like, you know, like Jose had to go to work early today. And, you know, and it's like, the second he was out the door, I'm like, fuck this, I'm going to bed. You know, I really could not stay up at all. I had such a hard time. So, you know, I mean, it was, you know, yeah, you know, yeah, it's like, I really, I don't like it. You know, granted, it's like, you know, it's like I took my nap, I felt better, you know, but I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's like, look, it's like you would think that backwards would be easier for me as opposed to forwards, right? Because, well, no, we lost an hour, right? We jumped back and we lost an hour. So technically the day is shorter as opposed to longer. But yeah, I don't like it. I really don't like it. I think it was like Arizona is like one of 2 states that don't follow daylight savings. And all I can say is good for them. Good for them. It's like, look, just let the days go the way they're going to go. But yeah, it's like I am not liking this at all. It being that dark right now. Oh, so you use military time. So is that just a preference, HR, or are you somewhere that uses military time normally, like normal people? Like, because I know that we don't, because I know that in Europe they use that a lot, military time. But oh, Sweden. Oh, very nice. Oh my God. So that means it must are you getting like dark at like 2 in the afternoon already? Are you are you seeing, are you getting like that really, really early dark over there? Because I saw a photo of somebody. It was like 2 o'clock, and it was already, and it's just like, I don't know. Is it like that there now? Because, oofa, Let me see something. What am I? Okay, you know what? Let me do this first. Let me do this. You know what? Let's make that pink. Let's make that pink. Yeah. So, so what was else? Yeah. So what was the other thing that? Yeah. So I have to do the House of Bob sketchbook. So yeah. So that's going to be half and half. And also, what I want to do with that is, I want to, proof a hardcover of that. Oh yeah, it's like, so you're saying that, yeah, it's getting darker and darker there earlier too. Yeah, I could imagine. You know, um, so yeah, so one of the things that I want to do also is that I want to proof out. So I want to proof out House of Bob as a hardcover. I'm still debating whether to do a soft cover version of it. I haven't, like, I had wanted to keep it like kind of like a deluxe thing, but then I'm kind of wondering, it's like, it's like the way hardcovers are priced nowadays, like the hardcover is going to be like an $80 book. And it's like, you know, it's like, again, that whole accessibility thing. It's like, well, a soft cover would be more affordable for people, like, so I have to, yeah. So I'm still kind of like playing around with, okay, I have to proof a soft cover, I have to proof a hard cover, but what I do, do I go all in with the hardcover? Do I do a dust jacket and everything to really separate it, like differentiate it from the paperback? So that, so I'm still like thinking like those details out too. Because in the end, it's like what I'm trying to do is get all these projects, these books done by the end of the month, or at least like kind of like mostly done, because I want to spend December finally doing the layouts for EGORAVEN book 3. Which is issues 9 through 9, 10, 11, 12, issues 9 through 12. because yeah, it's like I just want to get the layouts done. My initial idea was that I was supposed to have started doing that in September. I'd wanted to do September, do issue 9, 10, 11, 12. So by December, I'm doing issue 12. But that didn't work at all. That didn't work at all. So it just, and the thing is though, it's like I want to at least start 2024 with the books that I need to get done in that year. Which is EGORAVEN issues 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then the last 2 issues of Tall Tales, Tears of the Mother. So that would be issue 7 and 8. So if I can get everything laid out, at least I'll have the books like that'll like kind of like commit me to the books, Let me see. Let me look at this one. Oh yeah, that should do it. That would be nice. Oh, you know what? I could probably just use a little bit here. There we go. That's nice. I like that. So yeah, it's just there's always no rest for the wicked, Let me go back to this pink. Ah, much better, much better. Yeah, much better, much better. Now let's do green. Okay. Yeah, if there's colors that I always have to double check before I start coloring something, it's blues and greens. Those are the colors that I always end up using the most of. So yeah, so I was especially checking those before the stream. But yeah, but I kind of think that if I, so it's like I was thinking of like taking, re-inking these pieces as their own thing, and then like I don't know, doing something with them, because I was really happy with the way these came out. Also, what I'm kind of liking too is that with these pieces, with these covers, instead of, because usually I use multi-liners on them, and because I had my rapidographs out because of another piece that I was working on, well, the Oswald pieces that I was working on, I figured, let me just ink it with these because they're out already, and I didn't feel like, because I have to, before putting them away, I have to clean them out, and I figured, let me just use them one more time before I have to clean them out and put them away. And I don't know, it's like I really like the way, I thought that I was going to have trouble inking on this paper, but not really. I mean, it's a little rougher than because the paper, it's not a grit, but the thing is though, it's very fibrous, I guess. But it didn't clog my pens the way I was afraid it would. So I just ended up using it. And what I'm liking so far that I didn't realize is that my ink isn't bleeding. with the multi-liners, I always had to be like really careful about going over the ink lines because they had a tendency to activate and and bleed. But so far, I haven't been seeing that with with the inking on this. So I guess from now on, I have to ink my sketch covers with rapidographs as well. I guess it helps too that I haven't been using the really, really small nibs. So I guess like the larger nibs don't get clogged as much. But yeah, it's like I'm liking how like the lines, because I have no choice but to go over these lines, and you're not seeing that spread, you know. Let's see. Oh, HR is saying crayon Statler permanent, don't smudge. Oh, Caran Dash Neo Color 1 is also permanent. Wax pencils and crayons is great for textures. Wax pencils. Yeah. Wow, Caran Dash, that's a brand I haven't usually I stick with Prismacolors. But Caran Dash, I use that. That was a brand that I used a lot when I was in school. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, and it's like, and I have a whole tin of Prismacolor pencils. I used to use them a lot until I just stopped. It's like, I don't know. It's like, I guess because, because like usually when I use my colored pencils, oh, the train is here. The train is here. Hello. Welcome. So, Vesenia is joining us. I guess she just finished her stream. So she's gracing us with another raid today, Twitch raid. Hello, everybody. Hello, Kevin. Hello, Vess. Hello, Keenan. Hello. Oh, thank you. Hey, your work isn't too shabby, yourself. It's like, I am so dying to get that issue. The more I see unfold on what is that, issue 10 of Celestial Pulse, the more I want them so much. It's like I cannot wait until you put those issues out. That and the tarot cards. Oh, okay. So thank you. Welcome. So HR was saying how he uses wax crayons with sponges and ink pads, and the colored pencils. Yeah, because usually, it's like you're waiting on a demo print. Oh, very nice. Page 1 is always. Yeah, so wait a minute. I thought you were. Did you finish something? Did you finish 9 already? Am I jumping ahead? Well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to buy them all anyway. I'm going to buy all the issues. I have all the issues from before, but whatever issues you put out, I'm getting them. It's like, it's not a discussion. Oh, issue. Okay, so Visenia is saying that issue 9 is finished and working on issue 10. Woo! Yeah, I got to start working on my issue 9 next month. I was just mentioning it that I want to finish all my stuff. I want to finish all my stuff this month, like these covers, and I have 2 commissions, and I have the rest of these books I have to lay out, because for December I want to see if I can lay out 4 issues. So it's like issue 9, 10, 11, and 12. so that I can get those. So at least they're committed to, because they're in layout form. And then in 2024, I can really start hammering, getting them done to get the third volume of, oh, you finished. Oh, Juju. Hey, Juju. She said she finished one page, not the first page. Yeah, I do. I do see that she likes to jump around. I can't do that. I mean, yes and no. I mean, Clip Studio makes it easy to be able to do that. I remember doing that on issue 9. There just came a point where I realized, like, I really don't have to do this in order. And I was able to jump around to like easier panels. But I usually don't like doing that. But hey, it's like, look, whatever it takes to get, well, that's true. That's true. Especially if you're doing kind of like spoilery scenes. Yeah, you kind of want to mix it up a bit, but that's fun too, when they're trying to like decipher the story. That's always fun. I never understood like the Game of Thrones writers feeling like that, oh, people figured out the story, we have to change it. I go, no, that's the fun part. That's the fun part. That doesn't, but yeah, of course, it's like the theories, those are always cool. But let's see. What am I? Let's see. Let me put some little yellow in this. Kind of. That's a little too yellow. A little too yellow. No. Yeah. Oh no. Yes. Please feel free to lurk. It's like what I like to think is that we're all working together. And it's like we're just hanging out. Oh yeah, no, absolutely. If someone figures it out, you know what? Medal for them. They get a trophy. It's like, congratulations. But yeah, you don't change a thing because of that. The story is the story. It is how you wrote it. Like I said, that's the theories is the fun part. And it's always exciting to find us like, I was right. It's always fun. So but yeah, so when we were, so HR was talking about like using colored pencils, and like I said, yeah, I used to use a lot of colored pencils in the past. But I would usually use them with watercolor. So it was like this whole mixed media thing. I mean, I haven't really used colored pencils in a while. A little out of practice, I would think. It's like right now, it's like honestly, the only real time I get to use traditional media now is on these sketch covers and these commissions. It's like, usually like in the pre-Clip Studio, right, I would usually have a stack of pencils that like blue lines that I would slowly go through inking just for fun, like pieces that it's like I don't really show off. But after really getting the hang of Clip Studio, now it's like I just do pretty much everything on it. And and then it's like, yeah, and it's like, and I have to, and then it's like, it's only if I really have to do traditional artwork that, I have to break out the Copics and break out, all the other stuff. I mean, it's like, I know some people might hear that. It's like, oh, it's like you don't do as much traditional art or whatnot. But it's like, but you know what? But I'm doing more artwork. I really do feel like I've been doing more artwork by putting half of the process as completely digital. Oh, Juju says that Vets just learned how to mimic watercolor in Clip Studio. Yeah, I haven't gotten to that point yet where like actually painting. I still there's still a lot of like Clip Studio that I have to learn just to do the comic side. Um, I think in the end, okay, so I'll definitely make sure to check that out on Friday. Peek in, to see what watercolor pieces you're going to be working on in Clip Studio. Because yeah, it's like okay, I think I'm going to use this one. Yeah, it's like there's so much stuff in Clip Studio I'm still trying to get the hang of that I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Because especially like going back to when we were talking about like, making your stuff accessible, so yesterday we ended up getting an email from somebody asking, because usually we give out PDFs of the Oswald Chronicles. So that's Jose's work, and he has like a level where it's like it's all his novels, his Oswald novels. Not the comics, the novels. And someone had asked, it's like, oh, can you ever consider doing that in an EPUB format? An EPUB is just electronic. It just stands for electronic publication, and I guess kind of the standard of reading books on devices. And I guess like a couple of years ago, Amazon finally allowed their Kindle reader to be able to read EPUB, because I guess like the format is so ubiquitous that Kindle couldn't. It was the one thing that Amazon couldn't force people to use their proprietary thing. So they started using, they started allowing EPUB on their Kindle readers. So I had somebody asking if I would, if we would consider, well, it's me technically, because I'm the one that has to put these files together. If, like we would consider doing, the books in EPUB format, so that I guess they could put it on their reader, because because the thing is that like being able to put that on a Kindle means that you can adjust the fonts. So if you have a visual impairment, you can still, it's like if I provided an EPUB version of the books, you could still read it because you could adjust the fonts to whatever size you need it, and you can read it. So that's something that I've been watching a lot of videos about, like on how to do that, especially like I said. So, and not just for Oswald, but for EGORAVEN as well, now that I'm doing prose versions of everything. So at least this way, it's another format that, I saw that does EPUB too. So it's like, so it allows people to actually to adjust the text. And so so if you have a visual impairment, or you just have shitty eyesight like I do, that you could still read, they could still enjoy the book. So that's what I've been kind of learning how to do, because I use InDesign and I use Word. So it seems that I can put together a Word document as an EPUB. But the thing is, though, a lot of my files are in InDesign, but it just depends on what I can figure out. The only thing, though, is that I was trying to figure out is that because my prose is going to have illustrations in it. So yesterday I was learning how to anchor images into the text, so when they reflow the images, the text, because they're adjusting the fonts, that it won't mess up where the images are. So I'm just figuring that out. It's just another thing I have to figure out how to do, because I think that That would just be. Now the thing is though, is like I'm not sure if that really, if EPUB makes a difference with comics itself. Because it's not like people can really, I mean, yeah, it's like it's just pictures. So if they just wanted to, they just enlarge it that way. But what I was saying earlier is that because I'm turning EGORAVEN into a novel as well, the main series. So I'm like, I've already transcribed the first issue into a novel format. So that could be an EPUB. So it's just figuring out how to format it correctly, because it seems like there's some certain things, certain tricks that you need to do in order for it to look properly on a Kindle reader. Unfortunately, it's not just you save it as an EPUB and you're good to go. It's, of course, it couldn't be that easy. So yeah, so that's just another thing that I was like looking up. And then I wonder why I don't have time to do a lot more traditional artwork, right? This is why I end up watching more videos of people doing embroidery than actually doing embroidery. Because at least, that, it's like I can watch and work at the same time. Rather than actually doing it. I did embroidery for a while, but that was like a long that was a while ago. That was a long while ago. There's an entire jacket that I embroidered when I was younger. It's like, oh, youth is wasted on the young. Actually, time youth and time is wasted on the young. But hey, that's where we're at. So we were just talking before about like, how do we make our comics more accessible? And one of the things that I started doing was just, like I said, converting everything into prose so that I could do audiobooks so that people could listen to my comics. String art, string art's nice too. Like, what is it? What was I watching the other day that was like, oh, that would be nice to learn? Like paper crafts. It's like there's this Instagram account that I follow where they do like all these little weird things with paper, and it's just like really, really nice. But again, it's like, who has time for that? I don't have time for that. It's like there was, holy shit, what was I watching? Oh, so yesterday the day before yesterday, this episode of From the Mind of Christine McDonald came up. It's this woman who's living in a Victorian mansion in upstate New York, and she's renovating the house herself. And she showed how she renovated one of the guest rooms, and she hand did the walls. And like she created this design for the walls based on this like chip of wallpaper, original wallpaper, that was like from the 1800s or something. I don't know. And I don't remember quite how long it was. And she hand stenciled the entire room with this design that she made. And it's like it had like this filigree and owls and rats, and then it's like it had like these bronze accents, and it was just like absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, stencils. Yeah, she made her own stencils to do it. And she never says how long it takes her to do it, but usually I only see her videos like once every several months. Like she only puts out a video, at least on YouTube. Like she can go for months without putting out a video, because I guess obviously this stuff takes a long time for her to do. And and it was just one of those things where it's like, oh snap, it's like I would so do that, make stencils. But again, it's like I don't have time for I don't have time to hand stencil a room. It's like that is not my thing. So I just get to watch somebody else do that. So yeah, so it's just kind of funny how it's like, that watching somebody do crafts is kind of like turning into, like the thing to do, because it's like, well, if I can't do it, I'm just going to sit here and watch somebody else do it. Like on Instagram, there's an account that I follow that it's just a woman doing embroidery. That's it. It's like just little videos of her, doing, and it's like, and I'm like going, oh, I'd really love to do that. And it's like, just keep watching, because that's as far as it's going to go. Oh, duh. There we go. Oh, I forgot to, gotta go in with, let's see, can I do this one? I mean, it's a Posca. It's not exactly a pen, but will it give me the result, just the result that I need? Yeah, it's fine. There we go. That's what I just needed done. At least it's acrylic paint, so it should just dry and not smear, but let me just avoid that spot for now. Let's see. Oh, where's okay. Oh, I put it in the wrong spot. That's why that disappeared. Yeah. Oh, but Christine, oh yeah, furniture, right? That's another thing. That's another thing, is watching people make furniture. HR is saying, I'm into furniture now. There's a Swedish couple talk about furniture designs. Much mid-century modern from Scandinavia equals Scandinavian Design 101 on YouTube. Oh, very nice. I'll definitely check that out too. Yeah, it's I know that my mom watches a lot, especially a lot of the furniture ones. I mean, yeah, it's like, it's kind of like, oh, that thing we would like to do, but yeah, we're just gonna watch for now. But yeah, but yeah, so yeah, so that's just, yeah, so it's just the usual, a lot going on, that old gag. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, clothes from the 60s and 70s. It's like, what's funny is that those are kind of like a weird era for me, because it's like, I guess because, I was literally been there, done that. It's like, I don't know, like that, like like that kind of, I don't know. It's like, yeah, once we kind of enter those eras that we, like we had direct experience with, I don't know, I just feel like they don't have the same, like they're too contemporary, kind of, you know. Oh, architecture's always fun. Architecture's always fun. There's a woman I follow, Dami Lee, where she does she does architectural content, and I usually like it when she does like these essays on architecture in movies and manga. And she did a really interesting one on brutalism. That's kind of an interesting architectural school, isn't it? It's like what's funny though is that I didn't know that like Brazilian brutalism is like kind of like considered a like a subtext of the brutalism school, you know. Like because Brasilia, the capital of Brazil, it's like they had redone, I forgot when, but they had like redone their entire capital with nothing but brutalist architecture. But it was done in such a way where it's like I said, Brazilian brutalism is like its own thing, which I found really funny. But it's like, but just the, like, I don't know, it's kind of like, it's definitely an aesthetic. And I thought that her essay was pretty interesting about that. I mean, what I find funny is how people kind of like they kind of like think that like they hear the word brutalism and they take it kind of literally, where not understanding that brutalism just comes from the French meaning concrete. That's all that kind of that's kind of just what it is. It doesn't, it's not indicative of anything else. you know so it's like, yeah, so that's yeah, architecture definitely. I've been watching those too. There was what was I watching the other day? It was the oh, I don't remember. It was another architect. I forgot what he was talking about. Yeah, well, yeah, but yeah, definitely architecture is something that I've been watching a lot too. Yeah. So who else got forced to turn off their ad blockers on YouTube, by the way? I mean, I was like so upset at that. So like, I don't know, like maybe like a week or so ago, like a couple of weeks ago, I started getting these pop-ups saying that, oh, YouTube doesn't allow ad blockers, yada yada, right? So, and then what it would do was it would kind of like pause, so it's like you couldn't click out of it until it finished, whatever. And it's like, oh, joke's on you, the pop-up is less annoying than actual ads. But then it's like the following week, then the pop-up would come up, but then it would kind of like, oh, it started doing something. It started not allowing the videos to load that I was wanting to watch. Well, it's like if you just re-clicked it, like if you just refresh the page, then the video would load. And it's like, oh, okay, ha ha ha, joke is still on you. This is still less annoying than than the ads. And then the week after that, it wouldn't let me load YouTube at all until I shut off my ad blocker. You know, it's like now it's like, no, you can't. We're not letting you watch this. You know, we're blocking you from watching YouTube until you shut off your ad blocker. And I was like, oh man, really? You know, it's like it was so obnoxious. You know, and it's like, you know, and in the end, I finally had to break down and do it. And oh my God, having to watch YouTube with ads is really not cozy. Let's just put it that way. It is, you know, because, you know, if you just let the commercials run, I mean, those shits will run for 10 minutes. Like there was a couple of times I got like full, like, it was almost like a mini program that was an ad because I didn't click the skip ads fast enough. You know, and it was just like, holy moly. So it's like there, you know, before when I would just let like YouTube videos just run, you know, now it's like I kind of like have to like half pay attention to it so that I can click skip ads, or else I'm watching like 10 minutes of advertising, you know. Watch my ads. Well, you know what? Yeah, on Twitch, that's what I do. It's like you know, I just let the ads run, you know. You know. Yeah, because that was the funny thing. My ad blocker didn't work on Twitch, so I was seeing all the commercials. You know, but it wasn't too bad. Although no, because it's like I would be like I would be sitting here working, and then like you're in the middle of something, like you're showing, this is parts that I always hated. You're in the middle of explaining something, right? And then just when you're about to give like the final instructions, the ad pops up. And it doesn't pause, and the thing is that because you're live, it doesn't pause anything. Oh, really, Juju? That's because I was using ad blocker. You know, so it's like I thought they were just getting everybody. Although the funny thing is, when I turned, now I'm getting ads for ad blockers. So yeah, so the ad would pop up just when you're saying like the important bit, and then it's like I would have to wait until the replay in order to go back to find the spot. You know? So Gothic said that, yeah, I had to get a new one too. So which ones are you using? Or you don't want to say? Ixnay on the ad blocker, eh? You know? So it's like oh, you know what? Let me try this. Let me try this instead of using. Let me see. You know. Oh. No, not the pennies. You know. So yeah, so watching videos on YouTube is definitely not what it was before. I mean, and of course they want you to sign up for their premium service, right? And it's like, look, I'm paying another subscription service just to watch, you know, just to watch YouTube videos. I mean, it's like that really, it gets too much. The other day I had to like update my card because I had gotten I guess my one of my credit cards had expired. So I had to find every website that I had a subscription on. I had to remember to change, you know, to change the card. And it's like, oh my God, it's like I had to create a separate folder just so that I remember, oh, you have Ad Block Ultimate. Oh, I just have Ad Block, so maybe I could just upgrade to that. Ad Block. Okay, so I mean, I had to create a separate folder just to keep track of all the websites I had a subscription to. And it was just like so obnoxious. It's like I really do not like this trend. I really don't. I haven't liked it for a while, but it's like it just feels like it's just been getting worse and worse. You know, everything is a subscription. Everything is an upgrade. It's like, oh, it's like now that we've got you hooked on no ads, now we're gonna put ads in. I guess it's like Amazon is moving to an ad model, and so is Disney Plus, right? It's like now you have to pay more to get no ads. And it's like, and it's such a scam, because all it is that you're paying until they hit a certain threshold, and then it's like, oh, now you have to pay more for no ads. And it's like, it's and the thing is, though, it's like we all kind of have to remember that when it comes to these companies, we're not the customer, we're the product. So the customer is the advertisers. So everything that they're doing is to the benefit of the advertisers, because those are their customers. We're not the customers. I remember years ago, Time Warner, now Spectrum. I forgot what it was that they did. I think it was DirecTV had put out a box that pretty much blocked all the advertising on cable television, and the cable companies sued, saying that it was interfering with their customer base by skipping the commercials. And what happened was that people were going, wait a minute, it's like, we want this, we're the customers, we want this, we want to skip commercials, right? And the company and Time Warner had to turn around and says, no, you're not the customer, our advertisers are the customer, and by blocking the advertising, you're interfering with our customer base. And it was just really funny, like seeing at the time people getting really outraged at pretty much the quiet part being said out loud. That's like, no, you're not the customer. You're not our customer. You're paying us for this service, but you're not our customers. That's why they don't really, like, you notice how cable companies, they don't really do anything to kind of like keep your loyalty. I mean, it's like when the garbage truck took down the internet for our block. I mean, they didn't care that it was, oh, wrong one. They didn't care that it was taking a week to get their shit back up. They didn't care that it's like that I was being, that people on this block were being inconvenienced having the internet down, because, we've gotten to a point where, you can't function. Yeah, a garbage truck took down a utility pole that had the neighborhood's like cable wires on it, and they literally disconnected the entire block. They took the entire block offline, and it took them a week to fix it. And even then, it still took them another month to fix it correctly. But by that point, I could have cared less, because I think on the second day, it's like, oh no, they wouldn't even do that, because according to them, everything was working. It was a whole ordeal. I was so twisted when the whole thing was happening. I was flames out the side of my face type of thing. And the next day, I ended up going to T-Mobile and getting their home service, their home internet service, $40, one little box that gets plugged into my modem, and that's it. No wires, no nothing. It's like, and we were good to go. Oh, Spectrum, Warriors, Godspeed. And that was it. And all it did was it raised, like, I was like talking to the guy at the T-Mobile store going, okay, what if I need more bandwidth? And he goes, no, this is it. You get 5G. You know, you're that's what you get. And I go, really? There's no like separate levels for, and he goes, no, $40, you get the internet, and that's what you get. That's it. You get the full thing. Worked like a charm, hadn't had a problem in the entire time. Meanwhile, like I said, it took them about a month to kind of figure out what was going on with the wires out here, right? But every time I called them, you know, it's like they could have cared less. It's like, yeah, it's like, you know, when they say that you're not the customer, you are not the customer. They don't care, you know? Juju, if you get T-Mobile. If you can get T-Mobile, get T-Mobile. Like I said, $40. It's just the one box, you know. And they didn't even. Well, if I was on T-Mobile already because that's my phone provider, my cell phone provider, and they waived the installation fee, you know, or the setup fee. It's not an installation fee; it's a setup fee, right? Same shit, you know. What installation? Just plug it in and it starts working pretty much. You just follow some basic instructions, like not even 10 minutes. I had it working. And yeah, you are not the customer. You are not the customer. That's for sure. You know. But so I'm gonna check out the Ad Block Ultimate, because I swear to God, it's like there literally was. I don't think after I took down my ad blocker, I couldn't watch YouTube for like 4 or 5 days. I really couldn't. It's like I had to like really like I just couldn't stand the commercials. And I wasn't watching YouTube at all. And it's like, and it just got to a point where it's like, you know what? I really do like watching YouTube too much. But at the same time, not enough to pay a subscription for. So I started putting up with the ads. But it's obnoxious. It's obnoxious. You know, but the funny thing is that I started getting commercials, ads for an ad blocker once I stopped. Once I had to watch the commercials. So yeah. Well, we're definitely saving this playlist. Oh, it's like a Juju says, I'll look into T-Mobile. Vess hates Spectrum. No, really. There is no loving a cable company. Absolutely not. It doesn't matter what name, you know, there is no loving a cable company. You know, I mean, it's like I heard that Fios is good too, but the problem is that the reason why I didn't go with them, because it's like we literally have the Fios box right in our backyard, because this is a junction for all the wires for Verizon and Spectrum right here. And what happened was that I couldn't get anybody to confirm whether they had to drill holes in my house for me to use it. It's like, because the last thing I wanted was more cables coming into the house. You know, because it's like, especially since like a couple of years ago, I just had all the walls redone. You know, so it's like, no, I don't want people drilling holes into my walls again. It's like, and it's like they talk about Fios, like, you know, it's like, oh, you don't need it. But the thing is, I couldn't confirm. Nobody could tell me if they needed to drill holes into my house or not. And so I don't know. But with T-Mobile, it's just a box. It's just a box. You plug it into your modem. That's it. They do recommend that you put it at the highest point you can, especially near a window. Which in the office is, it's perfect. I've never had excellent signal before. And I get it with T-Mobile. With Spectrum, I never got excellent signal. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And yeah, and it's just $40, an extra $40 a month. When before I was paying about $200 a month for Spectrum. We were able to get it down to $79 a month because of some promotion they were doing at Best Buy. And then every 6 months after that, they've always tried to raise the price or something, and we'd always have to do something to get them to lower it again. It's on this last bill before I switched over, it turned out they were charging us for a service we never used for a couple of months, Spectrum Voice. And I'm going, we don't even have a phone. It's we don't have a landline phone. Why are you charging us for this? We didn't even ask for this. So then it's yeah, so it was a whole thing. And then the garbage truck made our choice for us. I mean, because yeah, with Spectrum, everything was a fight. Everything was a fight. Just going to finish this area here, and then we'll call it a show. We'll call it a night. But I just want to just kind of just finish this. Or at least this section. Going to have to do something with this so that it separates it more from the hair. I have I'm using a very limited Copic set. I mean, I have a larger one behind me, but I think it's good practice to kind of just to force yourself to limit your options. Hey, a friend, I see you. Hey, friend. So it's I don't know. I think it just makes it easier for me to get through pieces like this. But of course, it's what that usually means is that, I in a situation like this, I only have so many browns. So I have to do something to kind of separate this. So something like that. And I guess this is where Copic's really works is, how well it blends. Actually, you know what? Let me put a little, what if I put a little yellow in this? Well, I mean, it's kind of what I'm looking for. I mean, it is, at least it's not looking like it's part of the hair anymore. I do have to fix it up a bit though. you know, probably more of this warm brown. I mean, this, well, it's not a warm brown, it's a warm gray. Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, it's not quite what I'm looking for, but at least it's separating itself from the hair. So yeah. So that just doesn't look like, no. Okay, let me just do a little bit more on this. Let me see. On the hair here. I feel like this is the background music at Epcot Center. That's what it feels like. Very background theme park background music. Oh, thank you, Michael. Thank you. Yeah, I think I think it's coming out pretty nice. You know, it's almost it's kind of like moments like these. It's like, oh man, do I really have to send this out? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You know, but that's why I take scans of everything so that, you know. But like I said, it's like I'm going to try to remake this piece and probably like use the design was like I said, for like stickers or something. I don't know. You know, I just like it too much. So, you know. But yeah, so we're already like over the 2 hour mark, and like I said, I'm not like Vest that can go for like 4 or 5 hours just working straight. My stamina is not the way it used to be. So, or I don't know, my stamina never was, but you know, like I said, and also it doesn't help either that it's like dark like this. I mean, no, I don't like this at all. But so here's the piece so far. I'm liking the way it's coming out too. I really am. I do like I said, it's almost like, oh my god, do I really have to send this out? Yeah, so so probably what I'm gonna do is you know, after I do a couple of other things, get some other things finished, I'm going to come back to this and try to finish this tonight. And like I said, it's, if you want to see what the finished version of this looks like, I'll probably post it in the YouTube community tab and on Facebook, because that's usually where I post all this. You know, I try to post all the finished pieces up to. Yeah, so let me just, you know, so let me just stop that. Thank you, but thank you everybody who's liking this so far. I'm very happy with it. So, and I think that the oh, okay, Michael, go. You know, you have a great night too. You know, good luck with your computer. the updates can be pretty obnoxious. You know, so. Okay, let me just switch up my stuff here. So let me just put the let me just put these back. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So so yeah, so I think we had a very successful run today. You know, it's like I said, it's very rare that I finish a piece on a live stream, but I think that we got a lot done considering. I think so. We got the gold bits in, and which I am liking how that's coming out, how that came out, and yeah, and I'm really liking, you know, how that's looking. So yeah, well, let me just put the mic back right here. Oh, too much. There we go. But yeah, I'm very happy with it so far. So So I guess that's it for us today. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me in the chat and keeping me company for this 2 hours. Thank you so much. Thank you especially for Vess for bringing in another raid train. It's like, how much those things make me happy. So it's like, it's just very nice to see. I just like it. Thank you so much. And yes, and thank you so much to my beautiful eyeball people who also kept me company as well, even though you're all the strong silent types. But hey, I hope you guys got a lot of work done working along with me, whatever it is that you're doing. If I was the embroidery, the equivalent of the embroidery or architecture video, while you're doing something else, you're watching me color in this piece, because hey, you don't have the time to do it, so you're having fun watching somebody else do it. It's like it's all good. We all had fun, and we all we all did what we had to do. So so thank you for joining me for these past 2 hours. So really quick though, so like I said early on in the show, EGORAVEN issue 8 will be returning to Kickstarter in 2024 along with Tall Tales Tears of the Mother, which is the new story arc. Again, that's also going to be back on Kickstarter in 2024. If you haven't signed up for my mailing list, please do. The links are in the show notes below. You can sign up here or on my website. Well, the link will take you, the link in the show notes will take you directly to the mailing list. So like I said, you can sign up here or at my website so that you don't miss any more information as to when these campaigns go live. You'll get it directly from me when I email everybody. So don't forget that. Also, just to give everybody a heads up, the Oswald Chronicles is back on Kickstarter as well. With The Light That Attracts, that's issues 1 through 4. That is another Oswald Chronicles story that, like I said, is on Kickstarter right now. The link for that is in the show notes. JD Calderon is the guy who wrote the Oswald Chronicles, who's also wrote Tall Tales as well. So, so check that out. Also, our friend Rob Multari just launched his comic as well, Nightwolf. Issue 8 is now on Kickstarter. That's also in the show notes below. This is a coming of age werewolf drama, action adventure about a guy in high school who finds out he's a werewolf, and you thought puberty was inconvenient. So it's a fun book. So you can check that out as well. Issue 8 is on Kickstarter right now, and if you missed all the previous issues, he also has that on the campaign as well. Same thing with the Oswald Chronicles. If you missed any of the previous campaigns, check out the add-ons, or you will find like the last 3 trade paperbacks collecting the previous stories so that you don't miss a thing pretty much. So check that out in the show notes. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for keeping me company. Like I said, I'm glad you enjoyed the piece so far. I'm liking it as well. And like I said, if you want to see the final piece of that, make sure that you're following me on Facebook because that's usually where I upload all of these things. So if you want to learn more about me and my artwork, oh, wait, what? Poof. Oh, there we go. Now we're ready. If you want to learn more about me and my artwork, my upcoming campaigns, all my work, all yada yada, all the good stuff, you're going to head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS. You can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but like I said, I post mostly to Facebook. If you are interested in seeing sketches, current work in progress, and any live updates on anything that I might have that might be going on at that moment. And remember that you could also check me out here at my channel on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, where I have over 500 videos related to art art supplies, art reviews, comic books, and it's like how I do my comics, the whole 9 yards. I have a video. Probably if you're looking for something, I have a video for it. So check out my archive. I also have all of my previous live streams on there as well, including the vlogs and the draw streams. So if you missed any previous episodes and you want to catch up for some reason or another. So and yes, and remember, and also remember that I usually run this draw stream Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. Not consistently, not every Wednesday, but Wednesdays. Also remember that you can read EGORAVEN, Heir of the First Unicorn, for free, uploading every day, Monday through Friday, at my website. So it's like, so if you're seeing EGORAVEN for the first time, or you're curious about it because I had the covers scrolling the entire time, you can go on over to egoworks.com and you can read it for free. You can download a 16-page sampler PDF. And it's like, and you can just check it out and get see what's it all about before the 8th issue comes back on Kickstarter. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales. That's TAILS online.com. And not only can you read the first 20, yes, I said 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can catch up on the latest story arc, Tears of the Mother. Again, you can catch up with the story before it releases on Kickstarter next year. And also, this is also uploading every day, Monday through Friday. So we will be seeing you on Friday at the Raging to the Vlogs show. Me and Nita Lanning. We are having kind of like a House of Bob reunion on Friday. We are running probably a rare adults only version of the episode of our vlog this Friday. We're going to be talking about a very interesting survey that's been going around on writers circles on Threads, and it's going to be a very risque topic. So make sure, if you want to know what it's about, head on over to our channel at the Indie Comics Network. Remember, you have to be age verified in order to see this episode on Friday. So join us on Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, and we will definitely have a good time with this very serious, absolutely very serious survey that's been going around for all of you who are interested in writing and just of any type, and especially very specific writing. So like I said, join us on Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern for that episode. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me again. I had a lot of fun. I always have a lot of fun, hanging out with you. And remember that, you know what? It's not about, it's like, look, it's not about being in competition with anybody. It's not about, it's like, oh, why is that person, doing better than I am? It's like, no, the thing you have to always remember is when you do your work, it's always to the best of your ability, and that the goal is to be a better person today than you were yesterday, in terms of art, in terms of everything, so that's it for me. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.
You are all weirdos.